welcome to the Corporate Review. On tonight's panel, we have our regular hosts, Stacey, Cindy, and myself, Adela. Joining us today, we have special guest Matt Hadfield, who is a financial analyst from KPMG. Tonight's case study involves the recent Target Wesfarmers accounting scandal.
We know that Wesfarmers is the largest retail company in Australia, and Target as one of the famous department stores. It also gets the attention of the public. It's related to our lives. However, maybe we don't know that 1/3 of Target shop in losses of 100 million every year seriously affect the operating financial situation of Wesfarmers store. Due to the bad sales performance and the profit margin cannot be able to consist with the next fiscal year as a guarantee. 10 Target employees and 31 overseas suppliers commitment to a high prices for additional financial rebates. Then the profit has increased about 14%, and the Target income increased about 21 million. When the scandal was exposed, it immediately take the concern of the public Target into a crisis of confidence again. So how about the comments of the social media? Let's turn to Stacey.
Good question, Cindy. There has been a large response from the media in regards to the scandal, with most being negative. However, the media did mention that it was a positive that Wesfarmers identified and addressed the scandal quickly. However, Michael McCarthy from CMC News also noted that once the rebates were stripped down, Target sales were bad, and not only Target, but the company overall. The figures also suggested that the turnaround strategy they tried implementing was not working, which further highlights that the company is under severe pressure to maintain sales. It was also said by Mr. Carmody that the use of the rebates to boost earnings was symptomatic of the pressures on retailers facing structural change. He also said that rebates is an area that some management teams have identified as an area where they could do some things differently, which is exactly what Target has done. Other industry sources have also said that the latest allegations highlight the lack of clarity around the correct accounting treatment of rebates.
Let's now cross over to our external reporter Beck, who is on site at Target to hear some customer concerns.
Well, guys, it's fair to say that the suppliers of Target are going to be losing out. The additional rebate payments were meant to be made up in the second half of the year. However, since this scandal, Wesfarmers are trying to wind up these arrangements. Therefore, the suppliers are going to be at a loss. This scandal leaves a bad reputation for Wesfarmers in regards to dealing with suppliers, especially due to the previous altercations with suppliers in the coal scandal, where 200 suppliers were bullied into providing cash payments for profit gaps, late delivery and wastage. Managing Director of Wesfarmers, Richard Goyder, has stated that he is seeking to reassure regulatory bodies that it is a once-off isolated medical illusion and not saying that was a deeper cultural compliance problem for the retailer. It's very important for Richard Goyder to do this, especially since the coal scandal is giving a little unease for those regulatory bodies.
Wesfarmers also has a very strong culture and code of conduct that all employees are to abide. So after this scandal, shareholders may feel unsure as to the strength of this policy, especially since this is the second scandal to occur to the large company. The share prices did fall as a result of a fall in investors' confidence. In terms of the general public, many were confused as to how this issue was not picked up by the management team in Wesfarmers and required a change in management in Target and internal whistleblowers to finally discover the issue. Back to you guys.
So Matt, were there any warning signs to this scandal?
Yes, there was. So there was an increase of 25% turnover as a profit for Target, which is very over-exceeding. You don't see many companies making a 25% increase in their profit, only from 6 months as well. So that was a definite warning sign, which I think a lot of directors saw that coming as well. You saw there was 10 directors that left before this scandal occurred, and that was also another warning sign. Something must have been happening, which I think Wesfarmers and the CEOs realised but just didn't accept it. and a lot of directors started leaving, and that was one of the main warning signs. Especially, another one is the increase of competition. So Big W's improving as well, Kmart's improving, also another subsidiary of Wesfarmers, but that started increasing competition, made it a bit harder for Target, and they thought then by manipulating their financial statements, they thought they could increase their profits without all their stakeholders realising, and it's paid huge consequences for them.
And in your opinion, would you say this relates to earnings management?
Yes, definitely. So if you know what earnings management is, just the manipulation of financial statements to try and deceive stakeholders and shareholders. So obviously stakeholders are people that are interested in the company, and they're going to be looking at the financial statements, and especially recently Target's been decreasing and have been decreasing the company as Wesfarmers, and this is, they thought then, because they needed to reach a threshold, so they needed to reach this high threshold which they realised they couldn't do, so they've overstated their rebates by $21 million, which is a huge effect, which was also seen in Tesco, which is like a UK company, and they overstated their rebates by $475 million. So it's happened before. Earnings management happens by many companies. So I think Target thought that they could only $21 million, which is a lot for us, but for a huge company like that, they thought stakeholders wouldn't realise, but obviously that's happened, and yeah, it's really affecting them at the moment. So yeah, definitely earnings management, and it's bad earnings management as well. Bad earnings management, deceive their shareholders.
And how would you say this relates to corporate social responsibility?
Highly. So companies have a responsibility to behave in an ethical manner, socially, economically, and environmentally. They've got a huge responsibility to their shareholders and other stakeholders like customers, but shareholders because since this whole scandal's occurred, the share price has plummeted. So that means hundreds of thousands of dollars being lost by their shareholders, which is then affecting the company because they now have to increase their prices of their products because they're trying to increase their revenue to try and satisfy these shareholders. So now customers are then paying the consequences because they have to try and still purchase these products, and because it's now getting too expensive, they're going to go to other competitors which have lower prices like Big W, like Kmart, which is then making Target lower in the ground again. So it just shows how significant this scandal has occurred and how earnings management and corporate social responsibility was breached by Target. Thank you.
Now we'll cross over to accounting analyst Beck, who's going to talk about how the scandal relates to accounting theories.
Agency theory is relevant to describe the actions taken from those within the management of Target. In this scandal, there was a clear separation between the interests of shareholders and the management of the company in this owner-management relationship. The managers of Target, as the agents within this relationship, have acted in their own self-interest, which did not align with the interests of the shareholders of Target or Wesfarmers for that matter. This highlights a common problem associated with the agency theory, being the horizon problem. The shareholders and Wesfarmers are concerned with long-term sustainable growth and to enhance future cash flows. However, the managers of a Target were concerned with maximising short-term cash flow to ensure that they remain employed with Target and are praised for their efforts. Back to you guys.
So Adela, when looking at the scandal, who do you feel is responsible for the situation?
Well, after an extensive audit, including reviewing almost 10,000 emails and interviews with staff, it was found that a group of 10 Target employees were involved, including the top managers. As mentioned before, the managing director, Stuart Matchin, finance director, Graham Jenkins, and the director of merchandise trading, Richard Jones, have all taken responsibility and since resigned from Target.
There were a number of consequences relating to the scandal. The first being that a number of high-level managers either quit or were fired as a result of their personal contributions to the rebate scandal. The former Target managing director, Stuart Matchin, quit just after the scandal came to light. Even though he wasn't aware of the supplier arrangements, he resigned because it happened under his watch. The scandal also had a significant impact on Wesfarmers shares. It's been reported that while Target forms a small part of the Wesfarmers group, the rebate scandal has hurt the company's overall share price. It's also been said that once the rebates were removed, Target's earnings are flat and indicates that Target is no longer on the cusp of recovery as investors were led to believe. The day the scandal came out, Wesfarmers shares dropped by 51 cents. Because the scandal only happened this year, the full effect of consequences is still pending. However, by Target altering their financial reports and making it look as though their company is growing, it damages confidence within the company's employees and shareholders. As well as this, the impact of overstating the profits is likely to undermine investors' trust and the reliability of the company's financial reports. So, Cindy, do you believe there are any lessons we can learn from this scandal?
Yeah, definitely. As from these cases, we know that whether a company is loss or profit is not very important. The most important is the credibility of the enterprise reputation. No credit, it will make the company have no foothold in the market and will lose the trust of the customer. And I think the reasonable disclosure is also very important thing for the company. The company should put the truth of the financial situation to the public, and I think it's the company's basic social responsibility and obligations.
This has been another episode of the Corporate Review. Thank you for tuning in.